You guys see this? Mudahar in June. Sorry, Mudahar in a month ago. Not in. A month ago. Mudahar saying, "Why I'm not buying the Nintendo Switch right now. Switch 2 right now." And then a few days ago, they had plenty of these in stock. I knew you were going to get it day one, even though you said you would hold off, LOL. Honestly, I took a chance at a midnight launch near me. I kind of hope there's a day one exploit somewhere for these. Bro. 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 And I think this video is about this. He uploaded a video.
Hello, guys and
sorry.
gals, me Mudahar, and let's just talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. I made a mistake. I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2, even though I said that I was going to hold off. I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, you know, just on a walk-in. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way to sugarcoat or cut around this. I did, in fact, commit a hypocrisy. I made a mistake.
I committed a hypocrisy.
I should have not bought this product. Now, I made a few videos on the Switch 2. Well, not a few, several. And I've basically covered it. I've not been the most positive viewer of it, especially around certain things like those game key cards, and especially about their TOS, when apparently it seems like they can just brick your systems, and more specifically around the fact that maybe the system is in fact a brick when you ended up picking it up. Now, as you all know, yesterday I made a pretty big mistake. I actually made a video with the Switch 2 inside the actual frame. I actually had one on screen. I bought one. I used it to play Cyberpunk 2077 on it. Now, the reason why this was a pretty big mistake, and I do absolutely believe I should actually apologize to my audience, is I didn't practice what I preached. You know, I said you should vote with your wallet, and what did I do? I straight up charged my card and got the Switch 2. And for that, it's actually a pretty big apology. Like, there's no way to really say anything. There's no really any way to sugarcoat it. It's an actual mistake. You know, you can sit and blame other people, but ultimately, you know, I think the community kind of made it known that I would be one of those gamers that would fall into FOMO. And even though that I don't personally think that I'm the reason that video games have just gotten more expensive, ultimately,
you could not make a more spineless fuck, dude. I'm standing up for something, immediately folds. Oh, but everybody else is doing it. I want to buy one too.
Ultimately, the actions that I did do contribute to the fact that video games would have gotten more expensive, or at least the aspect of it would become more normalized. And ultimately, there's really no other way to, you know, just apologize and say that I'll do better moving forward, you know? And to be fair, the biggest sigh of relief for me is to sit over here and apologize for purchasing a video game system, right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing that I've really thanked God today for not doing. You know, I could apologize for far more worse, but, you know, realistically, it's just apologizing.
Just to be clear, guys, you made a whole video apologizing about buying the Switch 2 after saying he wouldn't buy it.
For purchasing the system that, you know, I kind of made a big hullabaloo about, right? And obviously, gaming boycotts are something that unfortunately traditionally do not work just because people end up buying them. And in this case, I was one of those people. Now, I do want to kind of defend myself a little bit and just kind of talk about this, you know, because I don't want to just say that, you know, I don't want to just say sorry. I do want to give an explanation. Obviously, that night,
What's the explanation?
I was coming home, bought a Switch, and one of the reasons I wanted to buy the Switch is to kind of look at that brick capability. I wanted to see if you can fire the system up, you can make a local account, you can connect without, you know, utilize.
And surely no one else was going to make a video about this. Surely you couldn't have stuck to your principles because there was definitely no one else that would have made a video about this. Just say you wanted to play Mario Kart, dude. Oh my God.
Any patches, and thankfully you actually can, you know, as long as you have a Switch 2.
I actually bought it to do investigative journalism.
Of course, a game, which this is something that I'm actually keeping stock, or not just actually. I had a Cyberpunk 2077. As long as you have a game with an actual, you know, completed update on the cartridge, this system is completely usable offline, which was pretty important to me because I didn't want to see another system release as a pure on brick. So as long as you have a system with, again, a video game, it seems things can just work out of the box. Now, as far as Switch 1 stuff goes, that still needed you to patch for getting the backwards compatibility going in. But if you were just buying Switch 2 games, then surprisingly, everything just worked out of the box. The other thing I wanted to see was, again, the functionality of these games too, especially one game completed on the system. And for that, I played Cyberpunk 2077. In fact, that was a pretty massive section of the video where I just showed the game actually running for anybody to come into the video, watch, and see. Now, I could make the video overly negative, or I could make it overly positive, but the reason I just kind of went the way that I did was I wanted to just objectively look at this product as what it was and talk about things, right? And, you know, one of the things that I kind of read was like, the grifter stuff. You were just grifting on that hate. Well, if I was grifting on the
Wait, did he make this video because of this?
There are two things in this world that never work under any circumstances: the McDonald's ice cream machines and gaming boycotts. Gamers have an insatiable appetite to consume. To reject that urge goes against their very nature. Anytime something shiny comes out, you can bet your sweet bippy it will be purchased and played, no matter.
Well, the reason is that most gamers are not this plugged in. Most people who play games, most people that I know who play games, who live on the internet, they spend most of their time on their computer playing video games. They don't give enough of a fuck to keep up with whatever is being boycotted this week. They play games to escape having to keep up with real life. Escapism in video games, it's ringing a bell at all? The past couple decades? No? Most people who play games are already working their full-time jobs and have no energy to dedicate to whatever stupid boycott people are doing this week. They're just going to play the game if it's fun, and they're not going to play it if it's not fun. And that's it. So whenever you see all this, like, moral outrage online, like, I will not fold to the woke mind virus. Go woke, go broke. Just know nobody cares about what those people have to say. Like the Grums of the world, they have a black character in Assassin's Creed, so I'm not going to buy it. It's like, that's nice. It's the meme where like the people are chatting and then one of them goes like, and they go back to chatting. It's like people just want to play games that are fun, that are enjoyable to play after a full shift at work. That's it. It's very simple.
How vocal people are about abstaining from it and not buying it. Like, the most notable being Modern Warfare 2. There was a big hoopla and a huge movement about boycotting Modern Warfare 2. And then if you went into, like, the Steam group from the big boycott organization, almost every single person in there was currently online on...
That's hilarious. Sorry. That screenshot. Boycott Modern Warfare 2. Everybody's playing Modern Warfare 2. Most gamers are not whiny reactionaries, correct?
Launch day playing the game. And that's just kind of been the song and dance for gaming boycotts forever, really. Of course, there have been some outliers, a few exceptions where people really did vote with their wallets and voted no. That has happened. It's just not common. And right now, there was a huge push against the Nintendo Switch 2 for a lot of bad business practices. And people were talking about how they're definitely not buying it this time around. They don't want to support it. And I'm sure you can already guess chapter 2 of this story here, the climax. The Nintendo Switch 2 releases, and that shit has been gobbled up like a bowl of cereal by a ton of people that were very outspoken against the Switch 2 and talking about like they won't be purchasing it, which was all very easy to say before it was available. But now that it's here, they have jumped on that opportunity to own one enthusiastically and are playing it furiously and enjoying it too. I didn't expect the Switch 2 to flop. It was very predictable that everyone that was rallying against it was going to inevitably purchase it because this is like clockwork. It happens all the time in gaming. It was always going to be a super success. And I talked about that numerous times over my coverage.
Also, there hasn't been like a Nintendo console in how long? 6, 7 years? More? 8 years. Yeah. Like, that's enough time for the people who bought the Switch 1 to be like, yeah, I'm down to buy another console. Sure. Anyways, that's funny that after, I guess, maybe being mildly flamed by people like Morse Critical, he puts out this fucking video. I was actually just buying it to do investigative journalism and see if the product works out of the box. Like, yes, because if the product didn't work out of the box, we wouldn't have heard about it if not for you. Like, it would be in every fucking headline if the product wasn't working. Be fucking for real for 2 seconds. Oh my God. Oh, let me just say really quickly on this apology video for buying a Switch 2. I just want to say, guys, I waited a long time. I feel like I had to wait way longer than everybody else did, even though I pre-ordered. But for the first time ever, I have had the financial ability to buy a console. Longtime viewers know I'm a PC gamer, or I became a PC gamer because I was too poor for most of my life to be able to buy a console. And so for the first time ever, I got a console! Woo! Yeah! Let's go, let's go, let's go. So I'm excited. I'm excited. My first console ever! Yeah. Why not Steam Deck? Because I can play all of the Steam games on my computer. Right? But I can only, I can't play Nintendo games on the Steam Deck. And I like my computer. Like, I would, any game that I'm going to play on like, I like mouse and keyboard for like 90% of games. Right? So, is PC gaming cheap, actually? I mean, yes and no. I feel like you just don't need to constantly be getting new consoles, which is nice. You just need to upgrade the parts every once in a while. And also, you can just wait for like Steam sales or like Humble Bundle sales and stuff. So, and there's a lot of games that are like really cheap on the PC. So, yeah, I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I'm just excited. I've never been able to get a console before. I never got to get a chance to get into most Nintendo games because I didn't have a Nintendo. I got to borrow a friend's Nintendo when I was younger, many, many moons ago. So I'm kind of excited.
Please play Zelda in Fire Emblem.
Yes. Yes, I'm excited. I've never played any of the Zelda games ever. And I know everyone's like, you gotta play Breath of the Wild. What's wrong with you? So I can finally maybe do it. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm hype. I'm very excited. I also am really excited to play the Fire Emblem games. Yes. So on alt channel, I don't know. I think I need to get like a capture card or something for that, which I might have a capture card. I'm not sure. Animal Crossing. I actually only ever played the mobile game of Animal Crossing, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll get into it. We'll see. I mostly just watched Let's Plays of games. Like I watched a bunch of Pikmin Let's Plays because I couldn't get my own console. So I'm like, I can play the Pikmin game myself. Let's go. So, all right.